I didn't plan on making this video, but after adding up all the expenses for cruising in 2025, not just the cruise fares, but every single expense, I thought it only right to share it with my viewers because nothing about cruising is actually free. And I don't see many videos out there talking about what their real expenses are. So today I'm breaking down what it actually cost me in 2025 to cruise. Before we get into the numbers, I'm going to give you a little context. This wasn't just one big cruise. It was multiple cruises, 5 to be exact, spread out throughout all of 2025. They ranged from 3-day cruises to 8-day cruises. One more important thing to say up front. I pay for my own cruises. I am not comped. I am not sponsored. I pick the cruises I want to go on and I pay for them. These are real expenses paid for by my own money. Welcome to Cruise on Demand, where cruising smart is always on the itinerary. I'm your host, Tina Altman. The numbers I'm going to go over today aren't just estimates. I've tracked every expense I've had this year on cruises in 2025. I put them in different categories throughout the year as I track them month by month. I have grouped all similar expenses into 6 main categories. The very first category is going to be your cruise expense. And this includes things like your base cruise fare, your taxes, your port fees, and your gratuities. I'm going to lump all these together into one line item for each of the cruises to share on the screen. Now, everyone has to pay these fees, but not everyone has to pay the same amount. The next category of cruise expenses for us is the internet. Not everyone's going to need the internet, but if you watch my page, you know that internet access is extremely important to me, so we're going to buy premium Wi-Fi on every single cruise we go on. Number 3 is going to be drinks and dining. Now, I don't drink alcohol, so typically I'm not going to buy a drink package, but I do love an occasional coffee or mocktail. For specialty dining, we will occasionally partake, but it's not something that's huge on our list either. The 4th category is experiences, and I'm going to include everything from spa to excursions to any onboard activities that we chose to pay for. And the 6th and final category, I'm going to call the flex category. And what I mean in this category is I'm going to do anything that offset the cruise expenses, such as onboard credit, any stock options that I had on the cruises, the credit card points that I used for hotels, and even for one cruise. Now that we know the categories, let's cruise in. The first cruise we took in 2025 was a 4-day cruise on the Carnival Elation out of Jacksonville to the Bahamas. I booked this cruise in January and we left the end of February, coming back in March. The base cruise expense covering the cruise fare, taxes, port fees, and gratuities was $764 for an interior cabin. The next cruise we booked in April, it was a 3-day 4th of July getaway out of Miami on the Carnival Conquest, again to the Bahamas. Booking this trip was all about finding time that my husband and my calendars for work would be free and we could squeeze in another cruise. So we paid a lot more than we typically would. We paid $894 for an interior cabin. The next cruise was booked out about 100 days in advance. It was a 5-day cruise on the Disney Dream for the end of August out of Fort Lauderdale. We were able to book a Florida resident special, but it meant another trip to the Bahamas with a stop at their private island. The base cruise expense for this cruise was $2,264 for a guaranteed stateroom to get a veranda, or which is Disney's balcony. Then we had our anniversary cruise in November. This cruise was booked out the longest in advance, but it was still only about 6 months. We selected a 6-day cruise on the Carnival Horizon out of Miami to Jamaica, Grand Turk, and Cozumel. We spent $1,320 to be in a cove balcony. The final cruise is the one we're on right now. It was a last-minute casino deal for an 8-day cruise out of Miami on the Carnival Celebration, with stops at their new Celebration Key, St. Thomas, and Amber Cove. Although our longest cruise, this was least expensive. The base cruise fare is $766 for an interior cabin. Moving on to the internet. Many cruisers will not need their premium internet when they go on a cruise. However, my husband and I do need premium Wi-Fi. Since most of our cruises were with Carnival and we purchased them pre-cruise, which means we bought them before we got on the cruise ship, you really could take the pre-cruise purchase price of the Wi-Fi and multiply it by the days that we were on the cruise. The Disney Dream is a little different. They don't let you pre-purchase internet. However, they do let you either buy for a day, 24-hour period, or by the duration of the cruise. All of our Wi-Fi was premium Wi-Fi for the length of the cruise. So let's look at all of our cruises. The Carnival Elation, we spent $186 on Wi-Fi. The Carnival Conquest, $140. The Disney Dream, $350. The Carnival Horizon, $279. And the Carnival Celebration, $357. Moving on to drinks and dining. Unlike Wi-Fi, we often do not buy the drink package, so this could be unlike some cruisers. We will often drink only the included drinks with an occasional splurge for a soda or a specialty drink or mocktail. In the same way, Although we could splurge on specialty dining, for most of our cruises, most of our meals tend to be at free locations and then 1 or 2 specialty dinings on special cruises. So let's go and break them down by each cruise. On the Carnival Elation, we actually brought a case of soda on board, and the only specialty dining is the chef's table. Therefore, we spent absolutely nothing on drinks and dining. Moving on to the Conquest, we did buy a few drinks and it was a short trip, so our total was $18. With Disney, soda is included and their free coffee was actually really good. So drinks and dining on the Disney with their rotational dining, a big fat goose egg, 0. The Carnival Horizon, since this was our honeymoon cruise, we did have the steakhouse, and we also had our very worst dining experience at sea at Cucina del Capitano. In addition, I had to try Carnival's new zero proof drink package, so let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd want to have a whole video on. In the end, we spent $330. Moving on to the cruise we're on right now, the Carnival Celebration. Again, we're still on the cruise. I don't expect it to change very much. We spent $15 on soda and some counter dining services. So maybe $25. I'm going to go ahead and put $25 in there, although I think it's probably going to stick to the $15. On each of our cruises, we had very different experiences. We are people who can stay on the ship the entire time or splurge for an excursion every single port. So each of our cruise experiences this year were very different. We also enjoy the thermal spa. So let's break down all the experiences that we spent money on all of our cruises this year. Carnival Elation, we spent absolutely nothing. We got off the port and explored on our own, but we didn't spend any money. Then the Carnival Conquest, we went to the Bahamas again, a place we've been tons of times, and it was a short cruise, so we didn't have any expenses that we spent for fun on the ship. So again, $0 on experiences on the Carnival Conquest. Moving on to the Disney Dream, we did spend $342 on that cruise. That was for the thermal spa, as well as a private tour that we did in Nassau through Viator. If you're interested in worry-free excursions on Viator, go ahead and look at the video in the description below. Then for our honeymoon cruise on the Horizon, we spent $484, and that is because we got the thermal spa there, and then we went to Cozumel. We booked Paradise Beach with a cabana. Now the cruise we're on right now is a Carnival Celebration, and I think we're gonna spend $0. Now let's talk pre and post cruise expenses. This is mostly transportation and accommodations. Now we're lucky and we live in Florida, and all the cruises that we took this year were out of Florida. So we drove to every single location. So I have no flight expenses. However, I do like to drive my car until the wheels fall off. So we rented a car one way for all of our trips to Miami and Fort Lauderdale and back, except for our last one. So we did a rental from our home to the location, dropped it off at the airport, got an Uber to the port, and then did that reverse coming home. We also had a hotel in all of the Miami and Fort Lauderdale cruises for one night the day before, except for our last one. So let's go ahead and break down what we spent on pre and post cruise expenses for each of our cruises. Carnival Elation, we only paid for parking. That was $68. The Carnival Conquest, $442. The Dream was $421. Horizon, $487. And then since again, we'll only be paying for parking on this cruise for the Carnival Celebration, it will be $200. The final category we have, I'm calling flex expenses. And these are things like onboard credit, think credit card points, and gambling. That could either be a credit or a debit. Starting with onboard credit. On all of the Carnival cruises, I got the $100 onboard credit and a $50 stock credit. The only one I didn't get the $50 stock credit on was the last minute cruise, because you do have to give them that information at least 3 weeks in advance. Moving on to credit cards, I booked all of my hotels with credit card points. So I'm going to take the hotel cost of what it was that day out of the cruise expense. And then finally, gambling. I tend to take $100 per day for the cruise. Sometimes I win and sometimes I lose. For the year right now, I am down $200 in gambling. So let's see how that breaks down for each cruise. For the Carnival Elation, it's going to be a loss of $68. The Conquest, it's going to be a credit of $462. For the Disney Dream, it's going to be a credit of $1,319, and that's because I had a Chase credit card with $1,160 in Disney dollars that I got to put towards that cruise. The Carnival Horizon, we're going to add a credit of $258, and the Celebration right now, we're at break even. So let's go ahead and look at the final totals for each one of our cruises and then sum it up at the end. Let's start again with the Carnival Elation. Carnival Elation, adding up all the expenses and then the flex credit or loss, we're at $1,086. The Carnival Conquest, $1,002. Dream, we're at $2,058. Carnival Horizon, $2,642, and the Carnival Celebration at $1,348. That makes my spend before that flex category $10,137. Then, when you take out all of the money that could have been spent on hotels where I used points, and the points that I used for the Disney cruise, as well as my gains and losses and onboard credit, you get a credit of $2,001. So the final result of what I spent out of pocket on cruises in 2025 to go on 5 cruises, a total of 26 days, is $8,136, or $313 per day for 2 people. All of these cruises were for 2 people. So just over $150 a day. So if you ask me, was it worth it? Well, that's not what this video is about. I'm not going to defend or justify that I spent nearly $10,000 on cruises in 2025. This is money that I deliberately put aside. I plan for it and I budget for it every single month. And I prioritize it because it's important for my husband and I to get away and reset. And we find cruises to be a wonderful way for us to do that, even the 3-day ones. So this video wasn't about whether or not it was worth it for me to spend that money on cruises in 2025. It was about being transparent and honest with my viewers about what I spent on cruises this year. And then you could decide intelligently, the smart way, if cruising is right for you. If you're thinking about going on a cruise or cruising more, I hope this video gave you a bunch of clarity and not a bunch of hype, because we all know cruising can't be free, but an informed decision is the best way to decide what to do with your money, and cruising is a great thing to do. If you like this video and want to learn more about cruising, please be sure to subscribe, because I do tons of videos about cruise tips, tours, and reviews. And if you want to keep watching, go ahead and click on the video on the screen that YouTube thinks you're going to like. And until next time, keep on cruising.